Welcome to Black Hat Hacking series. So in this video, we'll cover about the detection ratio of the Trojans and how the antivirus works. So everything we'll be covering in this video. So let's start. So if you remember, in our last videos, we have created a Trojan from the Ramcos, which we send it to people and we gain their control, and we've seen how it works even over the VPS. But as I explained you before, that this file is detectable by the antivirus. Most of the antiviruses in the world will catch it. And I told you that we will do the crypting practicals later on, in which we'll discuss that how we can make this file undetectable or fully undetectable. So right now, how you can scan this file from the various antiviruses to get to know that how much antivirus is detecting and how much antivirus is not detecting this file. So there are two methods. Whether you have to install lot of antiviruses in your computer and update them first and then you scan it. That's a very long process. Or whether what you can do is the easiest and the simple process. You can go to any of the website, you just upload your file there, and the website will scan more than 30 antivirus in 2 minutes, and it will give you the results that how many antivirus catch your file and how many antivirus say clean. Now I have to explain a little bit about these websites. Like this, the first one is the virustotal.com, which is a product by the Google. So they scan the files with more than 60 antivirus in the world. This one have more than 30 antivirus and this one have more than 25 antivirus. Now you would say that VirusTotal is best then. Yes, I would say it's best, but only for the files which you download from the internet and you suspect and you do not trust the files. But you should not scan your Trojans over the VirusTotal. Why so? Because they share your results with the antivirus companies. For example, you created a Ramcos file. Then you have bought a cryptor and you turned your file into undetectable. Now you want to check it that your file is really got undetectable or not. So maybe you will scan it over the VirusTotal, and what they will do, they'll first scan with all the antivirus and they'll give you the results, and after that they will send your file to the antivirus companies as well for the further research. And when the antivirus companies will research over your file will become detectable in few days. So your every effort will go away. Right? So you should not scan your files on the VirusTotal because they share the results with other antivirus companies. So there is second website which may or may not share the results with antivirus companies because they have no data written on their website. But it's also a good website. The third one is a nodistribute.com. Even their name says that they do not distribute the results with antivirus companies. So if you scan your undetectable files there, your files will remain undetectable for a longer period of time. So you can use only VirusTotal for the files which you download from the internet, which is not your file, which you do not trust even. So even if that would be shared with antivirus companies, it's no more going to affect you because it's somebody's file which you downloaded from the internet. Just to protect yourself, you're scanning it over the VirusTotal. So in that perspective, VirusTotal is the best. So let me show you all of them. Like the first one is the VirusTotal, where you can choose the file. I can choose my update which we created last time with the Ramcos, and it will see, okay, it would scan it, and now the analyzing is in the progress. So till it's scanning, I will also scan on the second website, update, same file here, and nodistribute as well with the same method. If you see, our file is right now detectable by more than 51 antivirus out of 67 on the VirusTotal. As I said before, that right now the file is detectable. Let's see about the MetaDefender. It have only 35 antivirus with which it scans, and out of which 24 are detecting it. So which is very bad. As I said, the file is not ready yet to send it across the world to hack people. So we have to make our file undetectable. Now how antivirus works. Till the point we do not know how antivirus works, we cannot make our file undetectable. Like the concept would not be clear in your head. As I said, that if you see, there is a hash for every file. Whether you crypt it, whatever you do with this file, the hash will remain same of the Trojan. So this hashes, actually the antivirus companies research over them, they gain this type of hashes of the various Trojans, and then they make it into the signatures, and that signatures your antivirus updates from the internet. And once it updates from the internet, it have all these hashes. So if it have the hash, it could also detect your file. Now I would tell you that how we can make our file undetectable. It can only be done if the antivirus will not be able to calculate the hash. We will lock our file in that way, we will hide our file in that way, we'll fold our file in that way that antivirus will not be even able to calculate its hash. It will not be able to even see it. For example, my friends know my face. If I go in front of them, they can locate me very easily that, hey, how are you? But if I wear some hats, add some mouse stitches on my mouth, add some little other stuff on my mouth, so they'll not be able to detect me that who I am. So that's the thing we have to do with this Trojans. Basically we have to add a lot of parameters in that, make it fold, make it compress, make it crypt. We do a lot of changes in the file that when antivirus will see it, it will see that no, it's not that thing which I have it in my signature, it's something else. So you can go away, you are pass. But I'll explain you more deeply that how it works. I have a picture, payload Jaggery creation. Now there is also one name. You can also call the payloads basically to your backdoors, to your Trojans, to your rats. It's also a same term which you could use. So if you see, the blue one is your Trojan. If you do a simple encoding over your Trojan, there are three methods you can use over your Trojan basically to make it undetectable. The first one is that you just make a basic layer of encoding. So three things: encoding, encryption and compression. Let me first give you what are these three. Like encoding, you have a text, suppose ABCD. ABCD. You just encode it and you can write it ADBC, which is still ABCD, but you have encoded it into a different form. It's written into a different form, but it's still ABCD. So if you just encode it, it's very simple for antivirus to detect it. So only encoding cannot protect your file. The next thing is encryption. Encryption is that totally change your file. Encryption works through mathematical formulas that maybe you will multiply your file with some number, divide, subtraction, addition. You do a lot of mathematical calculations with it, and it will turn into a totally new value, maybe 093GX. So ABCD is converted into totally new value. So when you want to again convert it into ADBC, you have to again revert back that calculations of mathematics, and then it will be converted back into ADBC. So maybe antivirus companies are also very smart nowadays. They are also have all the decryption algorithms of that common encryptions which are used by the Crypton companies or the Trojan companies. So the antivirus could also decrypt it, convert it into ADBC, and can decode it and convert it into ABCD. Then it's almost naked and it can detect it. So till the point it's not naked, it cannot convert it into hash. It will compare hash with hash and it can detect it. So the first layer is encoding, then you can maybe make it encryption, and the third thing which you can do is compression. Compression is like you compress it. Like there is a big paper, you can fold it, and it becomes very small. So whatever is in between the paper, you have to first unfold the paper, and then you can detect it what's inside written in the paper. So we can also compress it to decrease its size even, and to evade the antivirus even. So if you see, the first is just encoding is used, which is very normally can be broken by antivirus. And the second way is that first you use a Trojan, then you encode it. Encoding is always done second. If you see, on the second step is always encoding. I'll tell you why. The third thing is you can first encrypt it and then you can compress it, or maybe first you can compress it and then you can encrypt it. Any way you can do it, but encoding is always been done on the second level. Why so? Because if you first convert it ABCD into the encrypted text, basically into the cipher, and then you encode it like this way. First you encrypt it to this value and then you maybe encode it like 930XG. It's the same value written with an encoded thing, but if you little change it, it cannot be decrypted because whole thing is changed. So that's why encoding is done before, and then it should encrypted so that it can convert it back into ADBC, and ADBC can be converted back into ABCD. So encryption is done after it, encoding. Then maybe you can use compression. And even with these steps, if you do all these four, still nowadays antivirus companies can detect it, because they can first decompress your file, decrypt your file, de-encode and detect your naked Trojan. So what is being done by our softwares, which we call them cryptors, they do multiple cycles over it. They first take your Trojan, encode it, encrypt it, compress, they again encode, again encrypt, again compress, again encode, again encrypt, again compress, or maybe the encoding is being done one time, because as I said, because maybe it will not be able to convert back the file. So maybe again encrypt, again compress, again encrypt, again compress. So it will give multiple cycles over it, and then antivirus would not be able to know that how much cycles are being given over it, and maybe antivirus will not be able to make it naked and able to detect it. So that's how it being done. So how now you will think that, oh my god, it's a very typical process to convert a Trojan into undetectable. No, there are already a ready-made softwares which we have to download from the internet, which we call them usually cryptors, into a simple form. But actually they are not the only cryptors, is which basically we call it which crypt. But actually they do not only crypt, they do encoding as well, do encryption as well, they do compression as well. So they do a lot of things basically. But in the general way, over the internet, people call them cryptors, which you can buy it. There are different cryptors which we will be discussing into the next video, that what type of cryptors are available in the market, what are their difference, what's their cost. Usually in between to $10 to $100 there are various cryptors, thousands of cryptors available in the market. You just download or buy a cryptor, you just put your file, the Ramcos file in between that, and it will give multiple cycles over encoding, encryption and compression, and save a new file in your computer in just 1 minute. And then if you scan that file, it will be undetectable. Simple. So we do not need to do this process. This process I have explained to you for your own knowledge, because knowledge is the key to success. If I just make you, a dummy hacker or a script kiddie. Script kiddie is something which you can just use the software, that's it. But I want to make a hacker who must be knowing the details as well in between. A real deep knowledge as well you must be having. So hope you liked the video, and thank you for watching.